Don't do it. Don't do too much.
And then I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother weren't the best of friends. You gotta understand, like I'm gonna have friends that my mama ain't gonna like. I'm gonna have friends that my brother's not gonna like.
If the demonstrate for hustle, this is what I'm telling you. Don't come over here. Don't come over here trying to do. Then guess what? Go do something and come back. Go get cracking and come back. That's what I said, bro.
The way Blacc Sam conducted himself that day kind of reminded us of what Nipsey was doing
That's a fact.
on the day that he died.
Because that would have been the wrong person. Something definitely would have happened. And what was crazy about it, Sam was gonna be there for a while. So a dude actually had time to leave, prep, set up, mount up.
So it's starting to look like Blacc Sam might be in way more danger than people realize. He's always been the type to keep a low profile, stay out of the spotlight, but lately he's been showing up more in the media, and with that comes a lot more attention. On one hand, it's for good reasons. He's doing everything to keep Nipsey's legacy alive and pushing the marathon forward. But on the other hand, that spotlight can attract the wrong kind of eyes, especially now that Nipsey's death is back in the conversation with Big U getting arrested. Even though Blacc Sam never said Big U's name directly, he's been one of the people rumored to have hinted that Big U might have had something to do with Nip's murder.
But there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood, and Hustle frontline that, and you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
That alone can stir things up, and not just with Big U, other Crips could be watching Sam too. Jealousy is real, and we already know jealousy played a part in what happened to Nipsey. Plus, Blacc Sam's a millionaire now. Taking over Nip's business and building the empire even further only puts a bigger target on his back. Blacc Sam versus Crips. Then there's the fact that Sam has gotten a lot more fearless lately. Take what happened at the grand opening of Marathon Burger in LA, a restaurant he opened in Nipsey's honor. That day, he got into it with West Boulevard Crip, Rockstar 2800.
No, bro. You say you gotta go, bro. You got you. Come on. You gotta go, bro.
It's not exactly clear what started it, but from the video, it seemed like Blacc Sam made it clear anybody who didn't take action against the people who disrespected Nipsey Hussle wasn't welcome around them anymore. He wasn't entertaining any fake love.
If the demonstrate for hustle, this is what I'm telling you. Don't come over here. Don't come over here trying to do. Then guess what? Go do something and come back. Go get cracking and come back. That's what I said, bro.
Even when Rockstar tried to defend himself, Blacc Sam wasn't having it. He sent him on his way right then and there.
Ain't nobody disrespected, bro, in my prison. I'm on the internet. When you see that internet shit, bro, when you see it, get cracked. When you see it, get cracked. I can't tell. You know what's happening. I can't tell.
Rockstar later spoke on it, saying he still respects Sam and Nipsey, but he wants that fade because he felt the situation was out of pocket.
I just want to say I got love for Sam, I got love for Nip, I got love for the family. I ain't got no hate in my heart, ain't no hatred in my heart at all. My heart pure. Yeah, do I want my fade? Yeah, for how I did it? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I just felt like it was out of pocket. But after that, we can shake hands, whatever, or we ain't never got to talk again. However, whatever it's got to be, it's got to be.
Even though some fans think Rockstar had it coming, others are pointing out how dangerous that moment could have been for Sam.
The way Blacc Sam conducted himself that day kind of reminded us of what Nipsey was doing
That's a fact.
on the day that he died. At a public location, at a retail spot, that he's not welcome there and embarrassing him in front of other people.
God was with him.
If Rockstar had been someone more reckless, things could have gone left real fast. Gang members don't take being disrespected publicly too lightly.
Because that would have been the wrong person. Something definitely would have happened. And what was crazy about it, Sam was gonna be there for a while. So a dude actually had time to leave, prep, set up, mount up.
And Rockstar isn't the only one Sam had tension with. There's Brick Baby too, another person he clearly can't stand because to this day, Brick Baby remains friends with Eric Holder, the man who shot and killed Nipsey. Blacc Sam confronted him about it, making it known that keeping ties with Nipsey's killer wasn't going to slide.
Me and Sam had a disagreement.
I mean, was it because of the thing?
Yeah, that's why I said over the obvious. You know what it was over. It basically was like, you rocking with him? Like, nigga, you rocking with him? Nigga, I'm rocking with my brother. And we, you know, it really wasn't no words at first. It was all action.
According to Brick Baby, even though he doesn't agree with what Eric Holder did, he still considers him a friend because Holder once saved his life.
And it's like, I'm rocking with him. What you want me to say? Rocking with Cub. Like, nigga saved my life before. I ain't rocking with him over that what he did.
But in a wild twist of fate, Brick Baby himself is now in custody, alongside Big U. Blacc Sam versus Big U. And then there's the elephant in the room, Big U. Sam and Big U don't get along at all. Big U himself even admitted that.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Me and his brother wasn't cool. Me and his brother wasn't the best of friends. You gotta understand, like I'm gonna have friends that my mama ain't gonna like. I'm gonna have friends that my brother's not gonna like.
Even during the short-lived peace between Nipsey and Big U, Sam didn't budge. He made it known he didn't trust Big U, didn't want him around, and always stayed solid for his brother. One major example was when Nipsey dropped You Don't Got a Clue. As soon as Big U heard the track, he and some of his people allegedly pulled up on Nipsey to confront him. But they didn't just want to check him, they wanted to discipline him. And in street terms, that meant something serious.
Nipsey dissed, right? And he was like, hey, cuz, is this song about me? So Nipsey stood up or whatever and was like, yeah. So he was drinking some water out of a water bottle and he threw it on Nipsey, right? He was like, we're gonna have to go get down or whatever. So he thought Nipsey was gonna back down. Nipsey stood up.
They supposedly planned to take him away for a DP or disciplinary action, but before things could go any further, Blacc Sam stepped in. Blacc Sam stood his ground and told Big U straight up Nipsey wasn't going anywhere with him.
Blacc Sam said, cuz my brother ain't going nowhere. You was like, in front of the hood or whatever like that. He was like, my brother ain't going nowhere.
Then there was another incident where Big U confronted Nipsey, and it turned into a full-blown fight. According to sources, Big U actually got the upper hand and beat Nipsey down, but before things could go any further, Blacc Sam ran inside, grabbed a pistol, and fired a warning shot in the air to break things up.
Big U knocked Nipsey out. Blacc Sam comes out, fires 3-4 shots in the air. He's fresh out the penitentiary. Police sitting right across the street, they see it. They come in, they arrest everybody.
And even after his brother was killed, Blacc Sam hasn't changed his stance one bit. Blacc Sam has also subtly hinted at the possibility that Big U may have had something to do with his brother's death. One thing Blacc Sam said during an interview with Big Boy TV out was how there were big politics involved with certain people.
But there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people.
He even mentioned how Nipsey had brought DJ Khaled to the hood, which turned into a major issue. Nipsey had linked up with DJ Khaled and John Legend for the song Higher and planned to shoot the music videos in the 60s. But as the story goes, as soon as Big U heard about it, things took a turn. Allegedly, he sent a gang of Rollin' 60s members to press Nipsey about it, but Nipsey, being who he was, stood his ground.
You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood, and Hustle frontline that, and you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
Blacc Sam didn't mention Big U by name, but everybody knew exactly who he was talking about. Big U always had a problem with artists coming into the hood without checking in, and Nipsey wasn't trying to play that game. Nipsey always had a bigger vision. He wanted to unite the community, bring Bloods and Crips together, and work towards something bigger than gang politics. That's why he worked with YG, an act of blood, to show that unity was possible. But that went against Big U's vision, and it made Nipsey a target.
YG can come to our hood. He's a blood. He's from Paru. He can come to the 60s. I can go over there. I've been over there with my jewelry on and being myself, and they, you know, they respect it. They love it. I was unheard of. You couldn't do that, you know. Right. So it's different right now. Not to say it's like a gang treaty, a peace treaty. It's not that, but they know we pushing for the city. Right. So, you know, the streets behind it, and they respect it.
Blacc Sam standing on business against a group as dangerous as the Rollin' 60s is no doubt a bold move, but it's got people genuinely concerned about how risky it might be for him in the long run. We can't forget the Rollin' 60s have been tied to numerous deaths over the years, including people who were close friends of both Nipsey Hussle and Blacc Sam. Fats. An example is Stephen Giles Fats Donaldson. Fats was Nipsey's childhood friend and was like a brother to Nipsey. In 2017, he was killed in a drive-by shooting, and rumor has it that Big U had something to do with it. The story goes that Fats confronted Big U for pressing Nipsey, and just a week after that incident, Fats was gone.
Big U tried to take off on Nip, and Fats took off on Big U and set him on his pockets in front of everybody. A week later, Fats was out of here.
Sandman Negus. Another person was Sandman Negus. Sandman was a first-generation Eritrean American who grew up deep in the dime block section of the Rolling 60s territory. His family and Nipsey's family were close. In fact, their parents knew each other well, so Sandman and Nipsey had known each other since they were kids.
Getting it in out here, the boy Sandman Negus, man. You know, it's a collaboration. We all get money, my we trying to put our team on, you feel me?
Before Nipsey got his full push from Big U and the Unique Music Entertainment label, Sandman was actually the first artist that Big U was developing. He had talent and was beginning to gain attention for his music.
Sandman Negus, coming at you. Got next. No, he got now. Watch you.
But before long, things took a dark turn. One night after leaving the studio and dropping a friend off, Sandman was ambushed in traffic. He was shot through the front windshield of his car, hit 9 times in total. Bullets tore through his colon, liver, both lungs, his shoulders, neck, and more. Somehow he survived, though he was in a coma for 26 days and had to go through 8 surgeries just to recover. Despite the trauma, Sandman bounced back and poured all his focus into music. He and Nipsey would talk strategy, figuring out how to grow his name and push his mixtapes. He started building a real buzz in South LA's underground scene. But sadly, that momentum was cut short. On September 27, 2012, just 4 years after the first shooting, Sandman was killed at the age of 26 on the 4300 block of Crenshaw Boulevard, not far from Big U's studio. After his death, a lot of speculation started flying around about who was behind the shooting. Multiple gangs were mentioned, including the Rolling 60s. People felt like the whole situation around his death was fishy. According to court records, earlier that day, there was a clash between some Fort Trey gangster Crips and 40s at the McDonald's on Crenshaw. One of the Fort Trey members involved was a dude named Oliver. After getting punched in the face, Oliver and his crew headed back to their hood to regroup. About an hour later, they came back near the same McDonald's and drove into an alley where Oliver allegedly fired a shot over the roof of their car. That shot ended up fatally hitting Sandman. 6 days after the shooting, Oliver sent a text that raised even more eyebrows. He wrote, "Nah, Shanika just called me talking about I gotta leave LA. Everybody knows she said she wanna meet with me and talk, but I'ma just tell her about the fight, not the shooting." Then just a week after that message, he changed his phone number. 2 months later, Oliver Goodridge was arrested and eventually found guilty of first-degree murder. He got sentenced to 50 years to life. But Sandman's family wasn't satisfied with the outcome. According to court records, Sandman wasn't even involved in the McDonald's fight, and he wasn't there when Oliver got punched. That's what really made people start talking. On the streets, the word was that Big U and the Rolling 60s might have had a hand in Sandman's murder. A lot of people even started comparing Sandman's story to Nipsey's. This is exactly why a lot of people are starting to worry about Blacc Sam, because Big U has a history of going after people for way less than what Blacc Sam's doing right now. After all, one of the big reasons Big U's even locked up in the first place is because he allegedly killed one of his own artists, Rayshawn Williams, just for dissing him. Rayshawn Williams. Big U actually knew Rayshawn since he was a kid. In fact, he was Rayshawn's football coach back in the day. After suffering a serious injury that ended his hopes of playing college football when he was apparently being recruited by UCLA, Rayshawn's sports career came to a stop. By 2018, he was no longer on the team. During high school, Rayshawn had actually lived with Big U and his family for a short time, but things went south when Rayshawn allegedly stole a chain from Big U's son and wore it to school. After that, Big U kicked him out of the house. Still, even after that fallout, Big U supposedly kept supporting Rayshawn as he tried to figure out what to do next in life. After football was no longer an option, Rayshawn turned to music and began rapping under the name Young Judah. In May 2020, he started teasing a project called Golden Dreams, which officially dropped in June of that year. The name itself showed how much hope he had for making it big in music. At first, his music wasn't getting much attention. He would post snippets of songs on Instagram, but they weren't really catching on. In one track, he called himself Ray Hustle, which many saw as a nod to Nipsey Hussle. As time passed, Rayshawn seemed to get better at rapping, even experimenting with autotune and emotional, pain-driven tracks. Even though he hadn't blown up in the music world yet, he was already living like a star, posting pictures in fancy houses and taking trips to Las Vegas. But behind the scenes, things were getting messy between him and Big U. According to reports, Big U was paying for Rayshawn to travel to Las Vegas and record music. But instead of focusing on his music, Rayshawn was allegedly spending his time doing other things. Then came the diss track. According to the criminal complaint, Rayshawn recorded a song where he threw serious shade at Big U. In the song, he called Big U a bro that made some money, making it seem like Big U wasn't really all that powerful. But the part that really raised eyebrows was when Rayshawn rapped, "This song can get me killed for thinking ish funny." Even more disturbing, he mentioned getting shot in the face with a .38 revolver that would leave no trace.
Referring to Big U as bro, that makes some money. And that unnamed rapper may get shot in the face for thinking that his use of the studio and representation by Unique Music is funny.
Only 5 days after posting that track, Las Vegas police found Rayshawn's body in a ditch. He had been shot in the face with a revolver. Now, many believe that the diss track was what sealed his fate, and according to law enforcement, Big U is a top suspect. They believe he might have pulled the trigger himself.
But the track was eerie given what happened next. Just days later, the rapper was shot in the face.
Rayshawn Williams' death. According to official court records, Big U's music label, Unique Music, arranged for Rayshawn Williams to travel from California to Las Vegas in January 2021. The plan was for Rayshawn to stay in Vegas for a week and focus on making new music. They even booked an Airbnb for him to stay in while he was there and scheduled studio time for him to record songs. But things didn't go according to plan. Rayshawn ended up missing one of the studio sessions, and that raised red flags. Big U and his close associate, Sylvester Robinson, decided to drive all the way to Las Vegas themselves to check up on him. When they arrived at the Airbnb, they asked Rayshawn why he skipped the session, and he told them it was because he didn't have a ride to the studio. The very next day, all three of them, Rayshawn, Big U, and Sylvester, finally went to the studio together. Nobody knows for sure what happened while they were inside, but later that night, something terrible went down.
On January 24th of 2021, Big U arrived to a studio and RW was there, recording until around midnight. A little after 12:30 a.m., Big U left the studio and his phone stopped reporting his location.
Surveillance cameras caught Rayshawn coming back to the Airbnb around 1 a.m. In the footage, you can see him getting out of the car, picking up his suitcase, and then getting back into the same car. He was originally supposed to stay in Vegas for one more day, but it looks like Big U had different intentions. According to what investigators found out, Big U allegedly drove Rayshawn far out into the desert, shot him in the face, and left his body in a ditch. After that, he reportedly went back to the studio like nothing had happened.
About 45 minutes later, surveillance video at the Airbnb showed RW exiting the passenger side of the car and entering the Airbnb. A few minutes later, he left the Airbnb with a suitcase, got back into the car, and left. RW wasn't seen again. He wasn't even supposed to leave Vegas until the next day, but he never returned to the Airbnb. Instead, his body was found on the side of the road near Interstate 15.
A witness later told police that Big U showed up at the studio again around 3 a.m. He looked like he had just come from a gym. He was completely soaked either from sweat or water. When someone at the studio asked him what happened, Big U said he had just finished working out. But just a few hours later, the truth started to come out when police discovered Rayshawn's lifeless body dumped in a remote ditch outside the city. What's even more shocking is what Big U allegedly did next. According to the indictment, he tried to cover his tracks. He reportedly removed some recording equipment from the studio that might have had evidence of what happened that night. He also told someone to delete the security camera footage from the studio. Investigators think that there might have been a fight between Rayshawn and someone else inside the studio before the murder, which could be why Big U wanted the footage erased, so no one would know what really went down.
Witnesses told detectives an associate of Big U removed the video recording equipment from the studio a few days after the homicide, including video that would have shown RW and Big U at the studio before he was murdered.
But that's not all. After Rayshawn was killed, Big U started acting like he was trying to stay one step ahead of the police. According to the investigation, he had one of his close friends drive around in his car and even stay at his house. That way, if the police were watching his home or trying to track his car, they would think he was still there, giving Big U time to get away before they could actually arrest him. But things have gotten even messier now that a whole new reason is starting to spread about why Big U might have wanted Rayshawn gone, and this one is wild. Word is Big U might have killed Rayshawn because of Rayshawn's alleged relationship with Big U's own son, Dayon Henley. According to this version of the story, Rayshawn and Dayon were supposedly more than friends. Back when Rayshawn was still playing football, he and Dayon, who would later go on to play in the NFL for the LA Chargers, were tight. That's reportedly how they got close in the first place. But there are some people like Wack 100 who strongly deny the rumors. Wack says he's known Dayon since he was young and never saw any signs that he was gay or acting in a feminine way.
Now they're saying, well, Big U's motive wasn't the rap song, it was that he found out that the rapper and his son, Dayon, were lovers. I've been knowing this young man since he's been about 7, 8 years old, right? There's nothing feminine or nothing gay about Dayon Henley.
But that hasn't stopped the rumors from spreading. A lot of people feel like the story about Rayshawn being killed just for a diss doesn't add up. If people were getting killed for dissing others, then half the music industry would be gone by now. So many believe there must be more to it. People are saying that if the rumors are even partly true, it would make sense why Big U might have wanted to get rid of Rayshawn, especially if he felt like Rayshawn had something over him or could embarrass him by exposing a relationship with his son. If Rayshawn really had that kind of control and Big U felt threatened by it, that might have pushed him to act. And if that's even a little bit true, then this story is way more twisted than anyone imagined.